Revenge is a dish best served cold, but what if it's served with surgical precision? This week on the Cinema Sessions, we're diving into Law Abiding Citizen, a film that asks a dangerous question. What happens when the system fails and someone smart enough decides to fix it? Is Clyde Shelton the villain, or the only honest man in the room? Welcome to the Dubliner's Guide to Cinema.
Here we are on an auspicious evening.
Usually done very early on a weekend morning. But
if we seem more drained than usual,
it's after a long day of work.
There's less joie de vivre in our voices.
And I should be pointed out, I hate dating these things, but Ireland are about to play Czechoslovakia. But the Czech Republic now in about 2 hours. So
Czechia officially, I believe. In 50 years, our kids will be like, why do you call it as Czechia? No. It's like my parents calling it the Intercert. It probably doesn't have I was going to get off on a tangent, but does it have a different name now, or is it still? It's a junior cycle now, or something.
The junior cert, I thought.
This is what I mean. Like our kids will be like, "Hey, what the fuck, yo? Let it go, old man." So we're talking about Law Abiding Citizen. For the uninitiated, Law Abiding Citizen is an action thriller from 2009, directed by F. Gary Gray and written by Kurt Wimmer. Starring Jamie Foxx, Gerard Butler, Leslie Bibb and Colm Meaney, the film follows Clyde Shelton, a grieving husband and father who turns into a methodical vigilante after the legal system fails to deliver justice for the murder of his wife and daughter, putting him on a deadly collision course with prosecutor Nick Rice. The film has a 7.4 rating on IMDb with a Metacritic critic score of 34 and a user score of 6.7. On Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a critic score of 26% and an audience score of 75%. Law Abiding Citizen grossed approximately 127.9 million worldwide against a budget of about 50 million. And on a personal note, folks, I once took justice into my own hands. That was a fine evening, to be sure, until her father found out. Maybe let's not dwell on possible implications of that.
Maybe our father is in Law Abiding Citizen too.
Who knows? There is talk of a sequel to this.
I fucking hope not. But
and they said these characters, the quote I heard was these characters, and I'm like, no, spoiler alert,
well,
but like,
surely it has to be Nick Rice, like,
is it the charred corpse of fucking Gerard Butler or whatever? So how did you first see this?
Well, I first saw this way back in the day on DVD. I picked up the DVD because I'd heard a lot about it. Because this is the early days of social media and YouTube was the thing.
2009,
yeah. So like, I would have been more of a hip hop head and very engaged in music. So I would have spent money in internet cafes going in to listen to music because I couldn't afford an iPod at this stage. But I always remember seeing the trailer for this on YouTube and just being mad for it. But if I'm not mistaken, I was too young to see this.
2009.
No, I would have been 17, but for whatever reason I didn't see it in the cinema anyway. But
I can't remember, was it 18s in the cinema? It might have been 16.
It was around that time of 15, 16, 15A and all this. Like, it all
might have been 15A because I ended up watching the unrated version for this, which has more limbs getting lopped off and all this. I saw it in the cinema and I will put my cards on the table. I was as underwhelmed then as I was.
Oh my God. See, I was amazed because I only looked up I just had a scan of the Rotten Tomatoes score after wanting to revisit it for this because I've seen it a million times. Like, I was amazed that the fucking critic score was so low on Rotten Tomatoes.
I was amazed the audience score so high. I couldn't believe how high it was.
I fucking think, I'll put my cards on the table. I just think, because I mean, the final act has its issues for me, which do derail that thing overall. But I think the reason that happens is because the first two thirds are so good that
oh my God. Our first real disagreement, folks. This is going to be...
I think this film is fucking awesome.
I'm rarely speechless, but
look, the film asks questions that aren't fucking answered. Do you know what I mean? Which leads to deeper societal issues and what have you. And I get it, but as an action thriller, like, this is fucking just pure entertainment. Except for the certain caveats I will give is, like, for instance, like I said, the first two thirds, like, everybody's on. Anybody in their right mind is on Clyde Shelton's side, and I
would agree with that.
They make that so, but they make that such the case that they struggle to get you off his side. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I have a load of issues with this. I think it suffers. The two main guys are just horribly miscast. I think they're completely wrong.
Did you know that they were
going to be the opposite way around? That would have been a fuck up as well.
But see, the thing is, I wonder why it was, because apparently it was they'd been cast.
Well, whatever about Jamie Foxx as the mastermind, like that, it wouldn't have been any word. But like Gerard Butler as the fucking lawyer, I'm like, and I don't mean it to say like they can only play thick kind of meathead guys, but this. To me, it should have been like a genuine game of wits. And it's just not like it is not that at all. And I kept wanting it to be that. Maybe now it's on me. I wanted it to be something other than it is. But.
But see, because I mean, it is kind of, there are aspects of it that are just a fucking car crash of different. Like he's essentially John Kramer from Saw. At times, like he's also the criminal mastermind, like, but then there's also this kind of spy kind of aspect brought into it as well, like, which I think is where it derails in the third act, is because they need to get us off his side, and I fully don't think that they
never do, no,
because even at the end of it, you're like, Jamie Foxx is still a piece of shit, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, my main, Jesus, I really think there's so much wrong with this.
See, I think I would have saw this possibly at just the correct time for whatever reason. Okay. You know what I mean?
Well, like the guy F. Gary Gray is, I was looking over his filmography, and he did actually, funny enough, a similar film called The Negotiator with Sam Jackson and
Kevin Spacey,
which had, I thought, the same problem. Although I saw that when I was around just a little bit younger than you would have been when you seen this, so I still kind of like that film. But it's supposed to be this great battle of wits, and then you watch the film and you're like, oh, that's kind of it. But he's done some other stuff like straight ahead action stuff, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good. I like that. He's good. He
did Straight Outta Compton as well most recently.
He did. Yeah, he was kind of miscast as a director. I thought the casting on this was just so fucking wrong. And then I found out, I don't know exactly the detail. Apparently Frank Darabont was kind of attached to this. And
to direct, like?
Yeah, to direct, and now your man Kurt Wimmer, who I've met big issues with, he wrote the script, but apparently Darabont was like rewriting and need creative differences. I would imagine he would have written something that a fucking knobhead like me would have preferred. Whereas with this, I was like, I found it was neither kind of fish nor fowl. If it was just pure Death Wish, I'd have liked it more. But it was kind of trying to have it both ways, and it ended up for me not like, he's meant to be like the bit we're jumping around, but where Gerard Butler goes, he pleads with the judge, and she's like, see, we're about to let me out of here. And I was like, oh, he's playing an intellectual game. And then he goes, you're probably taking up the fucking ass. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
I thought that was hilarious.
I remember in the cinema that I got a huge laugh, but I was kind of like, oh, come on. I bet you're taking the fucking ass. That's so fucking stupid, yeah, and again, I don't want to come off like I think these guys, they can only play fucking Aegis, but
Jamie Foxx certainly can. Jamie Foxx...
They're both like, they've played like say what you will about 300, but the character Leonidas is not supposed to be a fool. Like he's meant to be a fucking lunatic kind of, but he just can't pull off this. You don't get it, man. He's thinking 10 steps ahead, and you're like, Gerard Butler. Like
the guy from Tomorrow Never Dies, who ends up making a mistake and blowing up the ship.
The guy from those Has Fallen films. Those fucking films they're incredible. Like fuck me, and I don't mean that really as a compliment, but they are incredible.
I mean the guy from Gamer with Ludacris.
Oh, Gamer! Jeez, I'd forgotten he was in that.
Look, that sounds like I'm throwing shade at Gerard, but the Has Fallen films definitely have their issues, but as fucking switch off your brain, just turn them on.
I like him as an actor.
I have no issue with Gerard Butler.
I like him a lot, yeah.
Like every other Irishman, I just despise his accent and P.S. I love you.
Oh, I'd forgot. I saw that in the fucking cinema, you know. Jesus Christ.
Everybody swank looking for Dunlauga, Hardy.
Jeez, he had an awful accent and that Christ on his throne.
But one thing I must say is one of his most recent outings in Greenland, I thought was fantastic.
Was that the one where he's the airplane pilot or something?
No, that was Pilot. That was Pilot.
Yeah.
And he's transporting a criminal.
I saw that trailer and I was like, jeez, I'd actually like to see that.
I saw that. It wasn't great.
Oh, no.
But Greenland, where the comets hitting Earth, and everybody's lied to globally, saying that it's not going to be that big of a deal, but it turns out that this is going to wipe us out.
You know, I think I saw that and I fucking forgot about it.
I totally, Marina Baccarin plays his wife in it and everything. I totally enjoyed that.
How could I forget that?
For a genre especially that's kind of been there and done that, it kind of revived it in a sense, and there's a sequel coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Didn't they do a similar film, Moonfall? Moonfall is the only film I can ever say that is a legit guilty pleasure.
No, is that where they tried Geostorm? Is that what it is?
Yeah, sorry, I saw Geostorm. Yeah. For fuck's sake. It's all so fucking convoluted.
Big Gerard Butler fans here on the cinema sessions.
Yeah, and Jamie Foxx, fucking Willie Beeman, steaming Willie Beeman himself. Big fan.
Look, Jamie Foxx.
Didn't he say some stuff recently about someone? Didn't he defend some?
No, I think it was no. What I heard is
I'm horribly fucking.
you're just
horribly throwing shade.
No, but he was very the guy who shouted expletives at Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, that's what he did.
He kind of went. He said he had to have meant that shit.
He just said, "Nah."
He obviously didn't see. I swear.
I mean, it's a nuanced issue, but he was just like, "Nah, he meant it." He's a racist.
That had to go.
All right, fair enough.
He's got. I guess I heard this argument from a couple of people, and I was like, he has that in the chamber, and I was like, that's not Radio Tourette's words.
Oh yeah, it's like all the words he could say. He said that one, and you're like, I don't know if that's.
But he also said, "But see, the problem here is, not to Jesus completely divulge too much." But the same guy said that a second time, but it was edited out. Do you know what I mean? He said the same word, and it was when I'm gonna.
He said it to a costume designer or something.
It was another actress from Sinners.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right, I only heard
that was edited out.
But I heard, didn't he shout like nonsense? Jesus Christ!
But you know what?
It's no laughing matter.
Not to get into too many conspiracy theories around, but he said, "Should I be this close to a crowd mic?" Like, you know what I mean? And they went, "Oh yeah, it's fine."
That is all a bit. No, I don't know who the fuck knows, but yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, he was just slightly. I don't know who am I to say as a white man? Who am I to say? Well, my other big issue, I'm surprised this doesn't bother people who enjoy it more, but I found his motivation for the two guys, I was like, no, it's perfect. But then all the rest, I don't know that they sold Gerard Butler's grudge against the system as well as they could have. I was kind of hoping for... I'm not hoping for, but I was like, I thought there must have been something else they could have done. Because it just, I don't know, it just never was as convincing that he'd be... Like, they were the main focus of his problem. And I was like, there should have been a scene in the courtroom where, you know, something kind of dramatic happens instead of it's just him sitting down talking with Jamie Foxx. But Jamie Foxx just is such an arsehole.
He is. And that's part where the film does, I don't think this can be argued, does such a good job of making sure, whether you like the character or not, or the actor playing him, you are definitely, you're on Clyde Shelton's side.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
And as you're supposed to, you're like, Jamie Foxx is a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And it's great that he's toying with you. But it never saves itself from that. Do you know what I mean?
No, it never. Well, in the end is a bit fucking weird. But no,
see, I think they just had to fucking. There was something here that seemed very forced or something towards the end. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, the main problem with it's a cliche to say, but they'd never make this today because the end of the film is basically people going, "Who gives a fuck about the law? Let's just do what's right." And you're like, "Huh." Interesting. Okay. Is that the message? Which in a vigilante film, I have no problem with, or just but the film does seem to want to eat its cake and have it too. Like it seems to kind of want to touch on intellectual issues and then just kind of not go anywhere with them, or just have people say you take it up the ass, or whatever.
But that is definitely something, because this asks the questions: what about the system? Because this shit happens all the time. People making deals with fucking murderers and rapists, and
I had forgotten, and it just kind of plays as weird. But did it play to you like nearly a little bit of a twist? So you have Jamie Foxx going, okay, we can get one of them. He'll go to the gas chamber, but the other guy will get off light. And then the way they reveal which guy is getting off light, it just kind of seems like, did I forget who the guy is? Whereas I was hoping it'd play as a bit more of like, oh my God, like I can't, that's the guy they're letting, no.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't sold that well.
I think between, in terms of runtime, right, and between the actual, because obviously the film opens with the rape and murder of Gerard Butler's, Clyde Shelton's wife and child, which is fucking horrific, like really, like.
It is,
Can you imagine in 2009, sitting there, like you went to it, did you not go, whoa, shit.
I can't remember. I had seen, my dad was a huge Death Wish fan, so I'd seen all of those.
Yeah,
and they are even
well, that's
nowadays,
different gravy. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like, Jesus Christ, comparison.
Yeah, for a mainstream film now, it's pretty out there.
Oh, yeah. And like, it's not shy about getting right into it. Like, I believe the doorbell rings about a minute into the film.
I'm like, Jesus, for a guy who's later revealed to be like James Bond times 100, like he's awful cavalier about opening that door when someone's like, boom, 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 boom. Like, all right, Jesus, well,
fair play, yeah.
So then, we get it, and then there's a scene where
what I was saying is the reason why the surprise factor about who it is, it's too short a time between when the deal is made to when that actually happens. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to forget. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the problem is Jamie Foxx. This is what I mean. Like they're miscast. I think Jamie Foxx didn't quite know how to play it. Like, because he does just play it like a very callous. Like doesn't seem to be much of a decent guy to him. Like he just seems this guy. Oh, what can you do?
He's like, he's even missing his fucking, because in order for like that whole the absentee father, he's too busy working. Like, there has to be a saving grace in the character of, okay, well, he's a good fella at heart. Like, but this is not displayed. Like, there's nothing here.
Well, there could have been a bit where he was even like, I think there is a tiny moment where he goes like, oh damn, or something like that. But I'm like, he should have been. What? Again, if I were to rewrite it, it'd be he argues with his boss, but then he goes like, all right, and he just goes into Gerard Butler and it's just like, listen, man, what do you want from me? This is it, it's over. But they kind of go middle of the road with both of them, where and it just makes him seem like a bigger arsehole, like, which is kind of a funny. So then it skips 10 years.
Yes.
And so I did like, look, there's a lot of stuff I've no notes on, so somehow Gerard Butler has rigged it so your man is like gets acid pumped into him.
Yeah, well, it's never clear what it is.
Clear.
I think it is mentioned. There's a throwaway comment from slipping the acid in or something like.
Something like that. Yeah, there's like. Oh.
But yes, but at this stage, obviously, we have no clue what's going on. It should be noted, like, really.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty good. And the guy, he was the more sympathetic guy. He was in Dark Knight
Ames.
Rises.
Yeah. It's his name. And the character is Ames in this. This is the guy who shouldn't. He was like, come on, leave them alone. Like,
the slightly more innocent guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you remember him from Dark Knight Rises? He had kind of a throwaway part in that.
No.
He was one of Bane's like kind of henchmen. He's a guy who says, if anyone leaves, Gotham will blow this bridge. No, if anyone leaves, we'll blow. That was him.
Okay,
he kind of an interesting look to him. Like, I can see why they kind of cast him. Like, the minute you see him, you're like, oh, that's a guy who's not really into this. He's along for the ride. Like, that was good casting. The other guy was really skeezy. That was good casting. I've no notes about that.
And he is a proper score. There's not a party, because you're like, what? Because the thing that really... That was kind of, because I know we spoke about Death Wish and how visceral that is, like, especially the second one. Do you know what I mean?
Jesus, yeah.
But like, here it was left to the imagination. Like, what has he done? What's he gonna do to this little girl before?
Yeah,
and it's just fucking.
It's horrific. Yeah. And and look, you hear stories about this all the time, but at the same in this movie, you're like, because Gerard Butler goes, but I saw him, they'll believe me. He's like, not to a jury. And I'm like, what kind of fucking lawyers do these guys have? You think they get away with it? Like,
no, but see, that's the thing. Like, it's not that. It's like Foxx says, and the whole premise really of the kind of the intellectual questions it's trying to ask is it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But they don't really go into that.
That's what I'm saying.
They do go. I thought the way they did some justice is better than no justice at all. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, I think they handle that satisfactorily. But a lot of the other stuff, I'm like, you don't really go into that. And as I say, you're just so on Gerard Butler's side, no matter what he's doing.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. Because I mean, he literally goes full jigsaw, like on. Yeah. Because obviously we see him, he's slipped the acid in, and there's this like kind of. I wouldn't say it's not overly horrific, but I did find myself putting myself in that room.
It did look very painful.
Yeah, no, but I did imagine while I was watching it, and I don't know if this was F. Gary Gray's choice, like, or this is what he wanted from an audience, but I put myself in that room, because already that's a weird fucking place to be. I often think about that, because it's funny you bring up Frank Darabont a few minutes ago. I think about that in the Graham Mile as well.
Yeah.
When like this is a thing in America where they go and witness this, and then they have the fucking cheek to say fucking public executions in the Middle East are an issue. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't see where me personally, I don't see where the fucking difference is really. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, it is odd. As much as I'm like, what would I say? I'm glad we don't have it here, but at the same time, you hear about the people they give it to, and I am like, well, I'm not going to fucking die on that hill.
Exactly. Well, I mean, look, Jesus Christ, we could get into a bleeding argument about whether we should have it for some things.
If you clip this, we'll have 10 people. What about all the innocent people? Yeah, that's bad. When they kill people who didn't actually do the crime. Not a fan. Okay, social media. But yeah, like it was an effective sequence, like, because you're still like, fuck them, like. But
then it leads quickly into
the other guy,
and it kind of here's again where maybe the film tries to create something that isn't really fleshed out enough. Maybe it was just the kind of adrenaline burst that I got watching it. It's like it kind of felt like, we need to. It's because it's somebody's. It's Clyde Shelton's company or something that fixed the. So that's they put onto him and they talk about Martin Darby, and then.
Where they know where he might be, or
yeah. And then Jamie Foxx obviously goes, I can't remember his name, and then it cuts to
he does. I found at a certain point, I think I just said, you're grand, but like it does, you do kind of go, why is Jamie Foxx going with them everywhere? Like it's a bit like they have to have him there. I suppose.
100%. This was a complete contrivance on my part. Like I had to just go, forgive him for this. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did. I was able.
There's no fucking way that a bleeding lawyer is, even if he's the bleeding DA. But in fairness, like we don't have that system here. In America, they do have investigators and everything attached to, like we'd call it the DPP over here.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's not. Again, it's a bit of a stretch, but it isn't as much of a stretch as to be here or something.
Oh yeah, no, because over there they do have it. They do like if the DA's office has like detectives, everything that it can send places and everything. So it's in an American context, it's easier. But for us over here, that doesn't exist. Like, you know what I mean?
It's funny how easily we accept the plea deal thing and all this here, which we don't have here. That's a uniquely, as far as I know, kind of American thing of. All right, you help us out, we'll let you. We don't have that here. Like it doesn't like so much stuff. Like here, what is it? Yeah, if you're up on murder, everyone just pleads not guilty because you might get off on a technicality. Because there's literally nothing you can do to get less time. There's other things. If it sounds like I think we have a perfect system here, I do not think that at all. But like it is, we just know about this from movies.
You know, 100%.
What's the plea deal? Like, I'd imagine if I got fucking arrested before I looked that up on Wikipedia, I'd be like, "Can I cop a plea here?" Or like, what the fuck, you know?
A big PJ from Long go what through that mean?
You didn't read me my rights. No, it's amazing what you take for granted and all this. Although, look, there's things to be said for their system, and I've heard stories about a friend of mine was on jury duty here and. Some of the things they discussed would chill your blood in that jury room, my God. But then we get to the real jigsaw thing, the murder of the other guy, which again, you're just like, fuck him. Like, I think it is an issue with the film that you, even when you, I don't know, I saw the unrated, like you even see the guy afterwards, he horribly murders him, like you see his severed head, but you never really feel like viscerally, man, he is gone a bit too far. You're just always like, good for you, 100%. Man. Well done.
That's what I'm saying. The film has a real issue with trying to make Clyde Shelton the fucking enemy here. Like even when he sends the fucking DVD to the innocent child,
I laughed out loud. I'm ashamed to say when she goes like that. Well, first of all, she's like, my DVDs, and I'm like, how does she know it's even? Well, all right. And then I'm like, oh jeez, she'll be up for hours. She'll be up for days on that. Fuck me.
But like, even that didn't make me go, what a scumbag. I went, Jamie Foxx is enough of a dickhead where I'm like, I'll allow it.
You really are. I'll allow it. Like, you nearly can't help it. Like,
and especially because it's just kind of brushed under the carpet. It's like, just had it as fake. And then it's kind of, okay, that's it, that's done.
Well, it is like, what he did.
What else are you going to say?
Horrific,
but what else are you going to say?
Yeah. Like, I've said it myself, like, oh no, that's just
that's not real. Yeah.
Oh, not that my young ones walked in on me watching like a snuff film around, but I'd be watching. She always fucking walks in like at the most violent bit of something. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Just a story, honey, don't worry. But yeah, like that's all. Like that's good. Fucking like not a
funny you actually mentioned that there. I just have to mention this because I'll never forget. I'm sitting up late at night, 2:00 in the morning, so I'm watching Peacemaker of all things, right? And Freddie then years later comes in and tells me, "Did you know that I stood there for 15 minutes watching and it was the most violent end of season 1?" And I'm just sitting on the couch. I have no idea he's standing behind me. His head's being blown off and fucking everything else going on. And it's just a bit of a fucking tangent, but whatever.
Well, no, these you got to keep an eye on these things. You can't watch them all the time. Oh my god! But so we were talking about he was Jigsaw, and then he said again that just makes me laugh. And then how did they? He turns himself. No, sorry, they do actually find like evidence. No, sorry, it's the place. He trapped him by having a cop car, and he actually had robbed the cop car off.
And then but he owns the building where the body's found, like, so that's where they connect the two, like. Yeah.
Now again, this is just something that points to me being like there's a miscasting or whatever, because if it had been some kind of slightly nerdy criminal mastermind, the scene where they come to arrest him and he takes off all of his clothes, you go, oh, he doesn't want to, he's not taking any chances that they think he was armed. Whereas in this, you're just like, Jesus, Gerard Butler's jacked.
You're fine.
Is he just like, yeah, come on, lad. Watch me flex. And even the shot is a little too cramped. Or like the way it's filmed, like, I was like, it should be a big wide open room where there's literally nothing around him, because he's like, I'm not even going to take a chance. And he actually moves kind of suddenly when they come in, and I'm like, you still might get fucking
shot. It's America at the end of the day. Like,
I know, Jesus.
But also he's not African American, so maybe that's why Jamie Foxx had to swap roles.
Maybe that's why they did.
The first thing they would have done was bang, whoa, bit of a glitch, whoa, bang.
Yeah, he would have had to be in a public place or something. Even then.
Or in white face, like white chicks, just to make sure, like, do you know what I mean?
Maybe we should remake this. Now this again, so this is where, and I think the film, this is what I mean, it tries to kind of have it both ways. I think they wanted these to be, this is it, like this is De Niro and Pacino and the coffee. These are two titans of, now I don't mean that with the actors necessarily, but I think they mean like, this is the scene where this immovable object meet. And it again, both of them are miscast, but Jamie Foxx, like, he plays it initially, well, I'm like, I'm okay with this. Like, he turns off the cameras and he goes like, thank you very much. Bravo, that was great. None of us are gonna. And then it immediately, like, as soon as he thinks he's not cooperating, he just treats Gerard Butler like, it's your fucking problem, you piece of shit.
And like, also, it is so, because I remember this from watching it originally. And he goes, he's looking for a confession. There's no way that a lawyer of this guy would not go, give me a proper confession and stop bullshitting.
I remember, again, the first time I watched it, I was like,
he's not saying that.
Are you that fucking thick?
Yeah.
That was a stretch.
Yeah, because he doesn't say, I did this. He says, I thought about doing this.
Yeah, and a lawyer would,
100%, especially someone who has a 90% conviction rate or whatever.
Yeah, supposed to be that smart,
You know what I mean?
No, well, you're reminding me, this is my own tangent, but I watched this channel where they analyze violent encounters, it's called, but they're obviously Yanks and they're all fucking tapped. But the guy was talking to a lawyer. He said, like, so what should you do if there's a use of force? Like, because I think you should call up the cops, and as soon as they come, you tell them what happened. And the guy looks at me, I was like, well, you're assuming that it was a good shooting and the person didn't break the law. And I would never make that assumption. And the guy was literally like, well, no, you don't understand. I will defend someone who murders someone. You're not on that level. And that's what they're like. They're just analytical, and it doesn't enter into their thinking, good or bad, right or wrong. And I'm not saying that doesn't have its use, but the way I was like, this should be some kind of intellectual game. And it is just like, he wouldn't be that thick. Gerard Butler just immediately, oh, you think I told you so? And I was like, oh God. And then he immediately just treats him as if he is a common murderer. And I'm like, well, at least he's a criminal mastermind at the very least. If he pulled all this shit off. Maybe I was just like, shouldn't he treat him with a little bit more respect? And none of them ever do. Like, they all just go like, you fucking piece. Like Colin Meaney's like, get piece of shit.
Now, we speak about Colin Meaney, right? Now, I know he hasn't
National
quite
treasure,
popped up yet, but surely he's playing the same character he did in Con Air, like, do you know what I mean? He's the fucking same guy, like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, jeez, I love him in Con Air.
He's brilliant.
He's brilliant. Here.
And he has flashes of that in this, like, do you know what I mean?
He's not given near as much to do. It's a real shame.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know he's a big actor for us as Irish people. Yeah. For me, from a fellow fucking Finglas man, like, do you know what I mean?
Is he Finglas?
Yeah. Nice. But He's not given enough to do here, one.
No.
But also, you have to understand that we look at this and go, oh, there's Colomini, whereas Yanks watching this are like, oh, there's just a detective
I
guy.
half recognise him.
Yeah, they don't care. Is that the guy from Star Trek?
Yeah, he's just not given a lot to do. He was great in Everyone was kind of great in Con Air. That's
perfect film, but that's for another day.
Yeah, indeed. But then, so I was just, okay, it's not going to be the film I want, but maybe it'll be something else or whatever. But then isn't it nearly straight away? So he sends the DVD to the young one, but then pretty soon, he says, you need to give me something. He wants like a nice bed, and I'll tell you where that lawyer guy is. Yeah. Isn't that the first thing?
Ben Reynolds or something like that.
Yeah, so he was, and again, you're like, that guy, I'm like, okay, I have no problem with him having an issue with that guy. That's okay.
Oh yeah, he's the one who, because defense lawyers are fucking, they're a different gravy.
And he was like the way he plays him was real skeezy and horrible. Yeah. He was out of central casting nearly, which is not a problem. Like, that's grand. And then, so the warden of the prison was holding up. No, that was the meal.
That's
wasn't
the meal,
it?
He holds it up,
What was the fucking, the bed for then? He said he'd give him some information for something.
He said he'd give him an actual confession for the bed.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And then after that, it's where that was kind of funny. All the nice stuff he keeps getting in prison. I thought that was kind of amusing. He's good at that stuff, Gerard Butler.
But that created an issue for me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm someone who enjoys this because I'm like, there's fucking, because one, he has a cellmate. Now, obviously, it does transpire as that he wants to get solitary confinement. Mm-hmm. But that you would have already got your head pummeled in this type of prison.
Yeah, true.
For already getting this shit, like, do you know what I mean? Well, so that did create an issue for me. I was like, I'm gonna have to forgive this again. Like,
well, he is so big and jacked. Like, I suppose that kind of a way for me.
But see, they did the correct thing, and the other fella looks like Thor. Do you know what I mean? So like, it doesn't matter how big Gerard Butler is. Like, do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah. That guy was actually a lot of the.
I thought he was very well cast. Yeah,
he was pretty good. I thought nearly all, or just the way they're asked to play certain things or something. I'm like, but then, is it actually? Is it before? No, it's before the lawyer thing that he goes to prison. He goes to the court and has that scene with the judge. I think, is it?
Yeah.
Again, I'm like, I brought up my issues with that scene
because he actually nearly go. Gerard Butler he's the real deal here, like, because he starts bringing up bleeding. The old court cases and everything, and like you can completely understand. It's completely believable when the judge goes, I tend to agree with you. There's at no point do you go, no. You go, that's exactly, we've seen Law and Order. We know how these court cases go, like, and you can then you go, okay, so they're really going after the system here. Like, it's the whole system's a pile of shit, and do you know what I mean? And then it turns out that but you're taking it in the fucking ass.
Yeah, I thought the better thing now, it would have meant he would have had to not succeed, but wouldn't it have been more infuriating and taught Jamie Foxx a lesson if he did walk out of there and he just kind of gave him a look as he was walking out, like, see what I can do.
But then he's not a criminal mastermind, he's just a free guy.
I get, that's the issue there, but I'm like, the way they went about him turning it in, I was like, Jesus. I find that's an issue.
But I did like, until he got to the point of the fucking, I bet you taking it in the fucking ass. Him getting aggressive, I thought was good because.
Okay,
the reason being is it does just maybe fall over into the ridiculous when he starts fucking.
Yeah,
you know
he just starts.
But I can get it. You were about to let me go, like, and I've killed people, like, do you know what I mean? Essentially admitting it without admitting it. But do you know what I mean? I kind of went, all right, because at the end of the day, even though he's cold, callous and calculating, the whole point is he was a law-abiding citizen. He wasn't. Yeah, he's still an emotional party. He's not a psychopath. Do you know what I mean? He's been driven to this. Like.
Well, the other problem is they never actually, the whole thing goes against its own message, kind of, which is they end up kind of going, yeah, he's right, but it's like, couldn't the message have been, well, actually, he's wrong? And like, look, there's obviously issues with the way it's implemented, but if you look at some of the philosophy behind the American system, you're like, okay, yeah, like, fair. Like, for example, I looked this up once because I was watching it. I was like, that can't be how it works. Do you know these things like statutes of limitations they have in the States? Yeah. Don't have that here. But in the States, the theory is, well, it's not really fair to say after 7 years that you can prove what someone did. Now, I'm not saying if something bad happened to you, you'd be furious. But it is built on the premise of you shouldn't put innocent people away. And like, there's something to defend there. Whereas in this film, they never put up the opposing argument. There's like, Are we the baddies? And then they basically go, yeah, this guy's right. This lunatic's right. I'm like, Jesus, have you nothing to say for yourselves? Like, and I mean, maybe make the argument and then go, no, but he's right. We should try and kill as many godforsaken bastards as we should. It never puts up a convincing counter argument. I know what you mean. Yeah. Should have done really, like, especially with the attacking the system and all this.
Yeah.
But having said that, look, we all get annoyed when. I remember on Joe Rogan once he was talking about the Charles Manson thing, and they were talking about, like, because very conspiratorial, like maybe there is one, I don't know, but they go, yeah, why was Manson allowed out? Like, he was granted parole. He was a violent guy, you know? It was a CIA, and you go, every fucking news story I read about the US is, this lunatic was out on parole and let him out. Yeah. That's just your system. Like, the CIA doesn't have to fucking be behind it. Like,
oh yeah, but like, I mean, just to parentheses that he's quoting Chaos by Tom O'Neill, and if I haven't read the book in full.
Is that the guy who was on? Was it?
Possibly, but because now that comes up all the time about Jolly West and the MK Ultra trials and all this. Like, there's
it was all tied into that.
There's a whole dark fucking aspect to that. Like, even the Unabomber and all is said to have been part of some CIA shit.
There's some truth to that. Yeah. Well, like, whether or not it's true or not, but they were like, yeah, why is that happening? And you're like, that happens. Apparently, it happens all. It happens here.
Yeah. You're like, the man who got arrested for stabbing someone else has 54 violent convictions. I was like, how the fuck is he not?
It is unreal. Some of the stuff you hear. Yeah. He's like 84 convictions.
It's like, what?
Oh God! Build more prisons, maybe. But we die. Well, no, we're not quite digressing because that's the point of the film. But so then we get the lawyer buried alive,
which I think is again very good. But he says you're gonna have to make me another offer and all this. And I do have to say, there's a point to this, like, because I mean, obviously, Gerard Butler's accent can leave a lot to the imagination.
It's okay, I would say.
I know it is, but he loses it at times. One of the times is when he's asking for his pommes frites and his asparagus and...
Oh, yeah, he was tripping over that a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember exactly. I think it was in the first time, but I was like, there's occasionally bits where I'm like, that's the level they should play it at, where he goes, I want to make a deal. You're the guy who makes deals with murderers, aren't you? I'm like, there's where it could live. Yeah, that's good. And then they just, as I say, they have to go.
One thing, again, I do like how... Because as we move on here, like, because I mean, obviously, then the fucking warden's acting the bollocks. He's trying to check them out. I don't know how many times you can put a bleeding the stake to a fucking X-ray machine,
and they still fucking
here's again. There's no way the fucking waiter from the restaurant will be bringing it to his fucking.
That was weird.
Unless now they could have easily fixed that by just saying, "And I want the guy to fucking bring it to me," like as if I'm in a real restaurant. Fixed. Then grand. I've no fucking issue with it. But just the fact that...
the fact they just... So, well, this guy needs to come, doesn't he? Suppose so, yeah.
Who else is going to serve me on...
Yeah. I did, like, that was, like, in Butler plays that well, how kind of happy he is with it. And, like, there's some stuff there, like, where he goes, what time is it? See, like, how can I trust you? And
but I do have to say, from what comes of this, I think it's fucking genius. Because obviously... It gives you the idea. Well, he didn't, because again, the film doesn't want to completely make you Clyde Shelton the enemy just yet, which is why if they had been on time, the lawyer would have survived, right?
Yeah.
But I have to say, in terms of the whole, whether you like the fact that, whether you think Butler can play the criminal mastermind genius level stuff, but the fact that he ordered the porterhouse steak so he could have a fucking knife essentially from the bone is fucking genius.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I remember in the cinema going, oh yeah, okay, pretty good.
All over it. You know what I mean?
I did remember thinking like they could have built in something for that little extra. Like, what was his plan if he didn't? But he probably could have just choked the guy, or I don't know, something like you get away. But that was clever.
Yeah,
I have to give it credit for that. That was pretty clever. Yeah, although they did X-ray it like 10 times and no one be like, here, hold on.
There's a thing that looks suspiciously like a knife in the middle of this.
Like it looks like a shiv. Well, that's a handle, like, and everything. No, that was I. You know, again, there's a version of the film that isn't necessarily exactly what I would have wanted, and that's kind of where that could live. But again, for me, it's often.
But I have to do say, but here's where again they do kind of, for me, successfully show the callous that he is actually. Oh, hang on, maybe he has slipped a bit too far here, because he is quite callous in how he does his cellmate. If this was just business, now maybe his excuse would be, well, this guy's a violent criminal, like, do you know what I mean? So,
no, they never go into what that guy's in for.
Exactly,
they play him as a bit.
But again, it is alluded to about how bad the prison is.
Yes,
do you know what I mean? So obviously he's done something fucking
you get
bad,
it,
like, do you know what I mean?
They're bad hombres in
But
there,
the fact that he gives him the bleeding remote for the iPod, he goes, yeah, just play it, bye.
Yeah. And it's well done, like it's done in one shot, and it's the CG seemed pretty good to me. Like, it was well done, So that's why that whole thing happened, so he could end up in solitary. And then from there is where he more explicitly goes, this is he's putting the system on trial, as Jim Carrey would say. So from who's the first? Does he start murdering people then, or
he pretty much does,
Isn't it? Is it straight away where he says, "I'm going to kill everyone at 6:00," and then they move into the prison? Or does something smaller? I think something smaller happens before
Possibly something smaller happens.
He kills the judge with the phone.
That's right,
Which is pretty funny. Because I was watching it going like, I know I was watching it. This is the second time now. I was watching it for this. And early in the movie, when Jamie Foxx's phone rings in the court, and I was like, "Why is that in there?" They're setting something up for later, and they set it up so he can be like, "After all the grief you've given me, you're gonna answer." That's why that was it. And I was like, did they really need that? Fuck it, something. But it's kind of funny how it happens.
And it is.
Not in a terrible way.
And again, the shot is quite. It's professionally done. Do you know what I mean? The whole exploding
it is. Yeah. There's no question. But I thought he was a little harsh on the poor judge. Like she was even like.
But she takes it in the fucking ass. He's obviously like. You know what I mean?
He's not a fan now. Exactly. But like for his family's case,
but I found that very fucking funny. I have to be honest, that line, because I'm sitting there as a fucking 33-year-old male going, "Oh, does she?" Do you know what I mean? Whereas in America, the pearl clutches are like as if that's the worst possible thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah. Well, whatever floats your boat. That's.
Maybe not in 2026, but 2009. Like,
2009, we were
they're speaking to a conservative audience here, like, who support all the system and
true, yeah.
Law and
maybe
order,
this film is more subversive than we gave it credit for. But no, they kill the judge, and again, you're always just like, they never actually. The only person they put any effort into making sympathetic. Sorry, there's two of them. Is your one from Iron Man, Leslie Bibb, and Bruce McGill, who is neither of them are. It seems a bit forced, and then with him, it's just kind of him playing that character very kind of stock. He's I love that guy, but he's not given much to do.
He's in some great stuff. Like,
he's great. Like, and they're just not given
enough
to make you actually give a shit. Like,
so the thing is, one thing I do like about. It's always a progression. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the kills. Do you know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
And it's always kind of higher stakes, especially in the system. Do you know what I mean? So it starts off with a lawyer, then it's the judge, and then it's going higher and higher. And then, do you know what I mean? And I thought that created like an entertaining kind of, I wonder who's next. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they seem to be going for this because they mention it later.
The only completely obvious one, do you know what I mean? Throughout the whole thing is Leslie Bibb. Do you know what I mean? Because the way it's shot, the way it's filmed is like, it's really, when do I get to meet Chester and all this? Like, and it's like, oh God.
Thank you for all your help.
Yeah. And then it keeps cutting back to Gerard Butler. I'm like, like she's gone. I know what's going to happen here.
It was very, very obvious, but they seem to be jumping a little further on, but because after all that, like, they seem to be going for this rise and kind of like a tension and like, oh my fucking
God.
God.
But did you get the feeling, this is something that I want to bring up, did you get Dark Knight vibes off this? As if they were two fucking superhero villain type.
I got that, the way he wanted to be caught. I think there's even a line like that. That was a huge thing.
Obviously they have to introduce Viola Davis. Yeah. Right? And essentially she's just surrogate to the judge, because they just need that person to bounce for the two for Jamie Foxx and Bruce McGill to bounce off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the stakes have gone higher, so it's the same scenes.
It's actually a line she has. It's much later on, but I think they were going for something that they just kind of ignored. But she goes like, "People are scared to go out on the streets," and I'm like, "Why would they be though? This guy's been pretty precise." Like the old murder, and he's only...
no, because it did before the Leslie Bibb character is killed, and he requests another deal. Get me off. Charge drop before 6 a.m. He goes, or I'm killing, and I did say I'm killing everyone. I'm killing everyone, and then they're all waiting there going, "What's gonna happen?" I thought that was very good. They're sitting there waiting for 6 a.m. going, we don't actually know what everyone means.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
No, that was...
You could have a nuclear bomb go off in Philadelphia.
But when she said that later, and there's bits where I'm like, there seems to be trying for this to be like, this is like when Colin Meaney, like when they have him on his knees outside the prison, Colin Meaney has the gun to his head. Yeah. And I was just like, that's...
At no stage do I go, Colin Meaney's going to shoot him in front of the fucking prison.
Yeah, see, that's it.
And he knows that. Gerard Butler knows that as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, there's another film, and again, there'll be people watching this now going like, he doesn't like this, but he likes that piece of shit. Do you ever see 15 Minutes, the Robert De Niro, Edward Burns thing?
I don't think
it's kind
so,
of a cop thriller thing. That has I am kind of standalone, but that has a great sense of like a situation spinning out of control and people becoming erratic and all this. I really... And I think they're going for that in this film. Like, Colin Meaney just might throw it all away and execute him, but you're just like, that seems a bit OTT.
See, again, as well, because leading to the whole, the city's on lockdown and stuff, like, nobody gets in or out and all this. At no stage do we see any of the fucking public panicking or anything.
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a big issue.
That's missing big time, like. And because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I suppose we can continue moving forward here. Because once Bruce McGill is next then.
Yeah.
Which I think, again, I fucking totally enjoy the kill and the set piece. Like, do you know what I mean?
My only note on it was there's a shot of him like in the car that's been shot with like this fucking anti-tank machine gun. And he has like 20 huge holes in him, but he's still like, oh. I was like, come on, he's fucking brown bread by now. Because they still have to blow him up. I was like, if he'd have been there, but like the problem isn't that he's still alive. Like if he was just like, or something, but he's literally like turning around. I'm like, and he's these really neat holes through his coat, and I'm like, come on now, lads, Jesus. Yeah. But again, as that kind of stuff, that's the Death Wish kind of a thing that I'm like, look, if it's just Death Wish, fucking just make it Death Wish.
Yeah.
And like, even if it's a Death Wish where like at the end they're tokenistically like, I suppose we shouldn't let him get away with it. All right, yeah. But it just seemed to be wanting to have it kind of both ways.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like, again, like he's as a director of action, like that's a good action scene.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, no issue. Like some of it's a little stock, like I think some of it, but like other like as an actor, as I say, it's underrated, and I'll get caned for this. I liked that Italian job. That was F. Gary Gray.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that was grand.
Would you go and sing?
that was totally okay.
Look, I suppose just as a massive fan of the original, the Michael Caine original, and what a potential sequel to the original should have been.
All right, well, fair enough then.
I just can't abide by.
I won't argue. I won't die on that hill. No, but as just a straight action guy,
could have been. Look, because I'm sure we had this conversation recently, but maybe not, about why don't they
remake bad films?
Yeah. Rather than remake classics and good films, like, do you know what I mean? But that's a film that could definitely be updated for a modern audience, like, do you know what I mean? But they just fucking too Americanized it. Like,
it was it was a bit stock, but I think I saw it on a plane. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. By the way, if anyone's watching this, confirm if this exists. Someone told me once that there is a press conference recorded where they asked Ed Norton, why are you in this film? Because he was famously unhappy. And he apparently said, well, you know, sometimes you want to make a film, and then other times the studio fucks up releasing your passion project and you're locked into a contract dispute, and they nearly had to drag him out with it. Does that exist? I was never able to find it. Someone swore up and down they saw it. But we digress. We're talking about Law-Abiding Citizen. I thought the Italian Job remake was okay. Anyway.
After Bruce McGill's
passing into the next life. I have a confession to make. When I remember seeing this in the cinema and being like, Jesus, Viola Davis is horrendously bad. And then I was watching it again for this, and I was like, what was I on about? She's grand. Like, there's nothing. But I'm not saying she's amazing. But
the only problem is, as the mayor character, she's brought in. Like, she's much better than what she is in this. Like, do you know what I mean? Viola Davis.
She's not really given much.
But she's only brought in, again, like I said, as a surrogate because we killed the judge. Like.
Yeah. Well, there's even bits where I remember I was looking at the goofs for this on IMDb, and they were like, the mayor talks to them as though they're police officers. They are not. They're lawyers. Because she is like, you guys are really fucked up this investigation. Like, well, maybe it's because they've no training.
Yeah, exactly.
Investigations.
Maybe they know the law.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with your taxes, maybe they know the right code. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. The damn bastards put the system on trial. No, well, Gerard Butler's ultimate plan is to kill the entire city council. So,
yes.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Which you bring down the whole system. Well,
no, but see, I don't know. But see, again, that's when we realise that what's going on. So that we don't know what's planned after that.
Yeah, I'll give the film some credit. Like you are kind
he's
of
caught,
like
he's
where
caught
they go
in the middle of a. He's caught during an attempt to kill the entire city council.
Yeah,
that's not to say that would have been his final hurrah.
That's true. Yeah. He did seem kind of disappointed he'd been caught. We should maybe say they pay lip service to "Are We the Baddies?" kind of with Jamie Foxx and Leslie Bibb because she's like, oh, you know.
And again Bruce McGill as well. It's like as far if I'm not mistaken, one of them goes, "Did we fuck this up? Like, is this our fault?" Like.
Yeah, I think Bruce McGill is the guy who's like, you got to be a realist, you got to be a pragmatist. He's never played villainous, but he's just kind of making that case and all this. And it's I was wishing they'd go into it a bit more. That seems to be Kurt Wimmer's thing. Is he writes stuff that's like, oh, this is set up for like an actual
question, and then
he does it like that film he did, Salt, because it was I believe in this system, you believe in this system, but we love each other, and that's what really counts. And you're like. Yeah, but are we going to live under communism or not? Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus.
Communism or capitalism?
That's kind of important, you know? I did like that Equilibrium film, though. Did you ever see that? The Christian Bale kind of Matrix?
No, but I've heard good things about it.
It is actually pretty good, yeah. Some very misguided people think it's better than The Matrix. But it's a good, solid film, like with good action in it. Then he did Ultraviolet, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen in the cinema. Oh, God on heaven.
Ultraviolet?
Yeah, Mila Jovovich is in it. Oh, I saw it in the cinema for some.
Is that from Resident Evil fame?
Yes, of Resident Evil. Oh, God, I'll never... Oh, it was horrendous. Anyway... but yeah, they're building it up to this big.
This is where we realise. Again, it's another nod to how much of a genius he is about how he wanted to be in solitary confinement.
Yes,
because they realise that a big thing throughout is they're trying to find his real estate holdings.
Yeah, or it becomes a thing later on. Someone's helping him, and I did like. There's someone helping him. Who is it? Because you do kind of go.
There is a great scene here where. It's when Bruce McGill is getting killed and someone's in the graveyard controlling the gun, and it's like, oh my God, who's that?
It does build a bit of like,
because at this stage, we everybody, the audience, is under the assumption that he's sitting in a jail cell, like, At no stages do you go, oh, he's out. Do you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't like a jaw dropping twist, but it's as twists go, it's pretty good. Like it's you know, you didn't necessarily see it coming, and
because obviously they discovered that he owns property directly next to the prison.
Yeah, that was so.
I've always found this funny. Like, it's like in Prison Break. Like, how the fuck did you know they were going to put you in the correct prison? Like,
I know. That's the biggest. Well, in Prison Break, I think he does say he pleads guilty to again. It only work in the US. Could I be in the prison with my brother?
Yeah,
and you're kind of like, it's an awful big risk that they say. Yeah, like, but go on anyway. But yeah, like it's as twists go, it's pretty good. And again, like.
And again, Colomini's given a bit to do with it.
And his partner, I found this very weird where they figure out where the bomb is and then like, where's the bomb squad? And his partner, who's been in the film for like 5 scenes. I miss. What? And then that whole bit is a bit weird.
I thought you were just a detective.
Yeah, that whole bit is odd because they're just...
This is where I think that this was shoehorned. Like, we have to fucking...
Well, also, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why did he have to go all the way back to the prison before he blow up the room? Because they were in there for... Like, was there a reason given? And
there's not a reason given, but without... Like, I mean...
Like, it makes the ending work, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, I just assumed... I never went, why does he have to go back there? I just went, I assumed, just in case people come to check.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And they were about to move him. This is why I'm like, maybe he had a further plan or something. But... Yeah, I was sure. Isn't this his big coup?
And this is where this is fucking ghastly because they're all talking about fucking because they instead. So obviously there's a bomb that he's going to blow up City Hall. And he's going to kill the mayor and all this, right? And then the bomb is brought back to the. How the fuck Jamie Foxx and the lads got back there so quick as well?
That was a bit of a stretch, yeah.
Because he's sitting there waiting for him, even though. Gerard Butler has left ages before your man even goes near the bomb.
He's taking an awful fucking chance of like, because you know, for anyone who didn't see it, they've brought the bomb back, put it under Gerard Butler's bed in his cell, and Jamie Foxx is in there for like the final showdown. And again, this is what I mean. Like, he is a good actor, Jamie Foxx, but he obviously needs more of a director because the first half of the scene is played kind of conciliatory. Like he's like, I know I was wrong, but you went too far. You did all this. And then as soon as Gerard Butler's like, no, I can't forgive and forget, he immediately just goes, well, enjoy the rest of your life, asshole. Yeah. You're going like, geez, you kind of fucking dropped
it's funny because you're dead right, because it just literally turns and he goes, you'll have to contemplate that for the rest of your life, which is going to be about 25 seconds.
Yeah, and he gives him like this fuck you kind of a line. I'm like, all right, but didn't we just kind of admit the guy had a point? Like,
yeah.
But this is what I mean.
And again, they've done all this fucking shoehorning in to try and make me not be on Clyde's side. Yeah. And in the closing, like his closing scene is the flames. Beautiful shot, I might add. Like I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Very well done. Now there's a bit issues with lighting because obviously the flames aren't actually there. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a bit of a mismatch in certain shots.
That's true, yeah. But no, overall, again,
overall very good. But he's looking at his fucking daughter's bracelet. And then it just reminded me, oh, you were fucking right all along, pal.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
You're still on the side,
all the work that's been done to shoehorn me into a corner where I am no longer on this guy's side. And then it cuts to Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, no, the setup for it is good, which is if you just choose to not damn yourself, you know, you'll live, and you know, maybe you can find some peace or whatever. That's all fine. The problem is just it's misplayed, and Jamie, like it should be just Jamie Foxx is like, I'm
disappointed.
Sorry. Yeah, like I'm sorry, you know, but it's no excuse for what you did. But it just becomes like it's just been revoked. You know, like all right, fuck me. And I don't know.
See you later, you big motherfucker.
Should do a recut of it with that. Oh Christ. Oh yeah. That would be fucking brilliant. Yeah, it was just, like, again, this is what I mean. The film just is. I can kind of see how you would appreciate the film and how anyone would. I am amazed it's that high though. The score is on like 7.2 is like.
That's high, yeah.
Fucking, that's. I think that's higher than Die Hard. Like Vengeance
see,
and stuff.
I'm probably as surprised as you are with the audience scores, as I'm as surprised about how low the Rotten Tomatoes score is. I genuinely think it's something more parity.
If I remember, I saw a summary where like the critics were, you know, I'm not too surprised.
It fell apart at the end, like.
Yeah, well, they were like the messaging of the film, because there are bits like when they're actually there is this. It's some of it's so shoehorned in when they're about to break into his property, because when they figure out, oh, he has a property right next to the prison, Colm Meaney goes like, what about his constitutional rights? And he's like, fuck him. And you're like, all right, yeah. And then it's like, he wouldn't say his constitutional. He actually says something a bit weirder than that.
No, because but you have to remember is throughout the whole thing, it's all about rights and about, oh, well, we're about to release this guy because of his rights and yada, yada, yada. So Colm Meaney throughout it is saying, give me 5 minutes with him. Give me 5 minutes with him. And they're all like, no, you can't. Obviously, that's what about he's a fucking human being, like, do you know what I mean? And that's where that line is coming from, like.
Yeah,
you know
I get.
Although it is ridiculous, like.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's funny because I remember, you know, Rambo 4. There's a bit in it where there's a character.
Is that the like, maternity one? The one
where he blows people to bits with the machine gun.
Yes,
the more modern one.
Yeah,
there's like, and again, they're doing it, but I kind of appreciate it in that where it's like this character is like, you know, it's always wrong to take a life, and then in the final scene, he has to mash a guy's head in with a rock. And you're like, you can appreciate it as camp, or you can appreciate it as, you know, the way it's played in that, it's kind of ambiguous. Like, you're like, oh, it's not actually a great thing, but, you know, it's not like he saves the day, but he just decides to kill him. Whereas in this, it is just like, what about his constitution? Like, fuck him. You're like, oh, that's where you're coming down on with this. You know, fair enough. Yeah, I don't have a problem if the film is entertaining. In real life, that's where it becomes a problem. And there are some people who have trouble distinguishing between real life and how you should run a government. But that's my problem with it, is it kind of sets things up and then it makes you take it up the ass jokes. It just says, you know, who gives a fuck about X, Y, and Z. But no, I sound a little more like I liked it as the conversation went on? Or?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think I just wish it had picked one or the other.
It's all right. I haven't, it's funny you say that, how you've sounded like you enjoyed it more. Yeah. Because I feel like as I've gone on, that Maybe I've realised a few things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do have to say sorry because we brought up so it turned out Gerard Butler isn't just at a certain point isn't just a normal guy. The spy thing. Now that guy in that scene, and I apologize. Yeah. I'm gonna mention his name because I love that guy. Michael Kelly's his name. I first saw him in an episode of The Shield where he played a serial killer, and he was fucking amazing. And he's in the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. Great actor.
Oh, he's great in that.
He's brilliant in that. Yeah. And in this, for some reason, he's like this shifty spy who's not. It's almost like he's afraid that Gerard Butler's gonna come up behind him and shoot him in the head. But he's looking over his shoulder. I'm like, couldn't this scene have just been in a restaurant? Like, why does it have to be like...
And what's the deal with the guy walking by slow?
Looking at them like, it was all a bit OTT because I'm like, this should have been...
To be fair, considering where they were underneath a bridge, a man's probably going, I bet you one of these is going to drop to his knees right now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Maybe, that's what he was looking. But the whole thing is, I'm like, this scene should have been... It was not necessarily the writing of it, although I don't know how much it adds to it that Gerard Butler's this kind of MacGyver kind of type guy.
But also, there has to be, he has to have some reason. Yeah, man, he didn't just learn how to become this guy, like, do you know what I mean?
Was this was post-taken though, so this is a specific set of skills thing. Maybe that was a... I mean,
and not only that, but I found it very funny that the Michael Kelly character goes, if he wants you dead, you're already dead, and then just scurries off into the night, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was... I don't know, in another film, like if it had just been taken, except it's a vigilante thing, I'd be more on board with it. But it kind of kept wanting to
ask. Like I said at the start, it's trying to be intellectual and ask questions, but it doesn't offer up anything in regards to answers. Like,
nothing
you know
meaty, no.
It doesn't challenge anything either. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, the original question of, the system is the system fucked, and is this fair? No, like that's what I said at the start. Like, it's so well done at the start. And then it just kind of loses its way as the film progresses. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair play. Like, I kept waiting for something with Gerard Butler. Did you ever watch Dexter? That show, Dexter?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know? Maybe it was just me now, but I remember because you're watching it, you're like, he's on his side. Like, he is a killers, side. Like, but there was a scene where he was being investigated, and the guy investigating him took over like an aircraft hangar, and they found all the bodies and they laid them out. And when Dexter walked in, and you saw all the bodies, you're like, Jesus, he really is fucking cracked. Like,
that was the point when they finally when they cop onto the Bay Harbor butcher.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's, I go for the first, because I mean it's very fucking unreal, like, dead stuff. But it was the first time that actually made me go, hang on, that was a bit of an RJ's moment. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
I continue. I love Dexter. I continued on. I love the new season as well. But that was the first time I ever went like, holy shit! It didn't make me go, oh, this guy's probably a bit bad. It made me go, this is so unrealistic.
It made me go. Well, there was what was the guy's name? Dobbs, the guy who's like, surprise, motherfucker. There's a great bit where Dexter like kills someone in front of him, and he's just like, oh fuck, and he's like, this is some sick ritual shit, man. And you just go, yeah, he's right. That was what I loved about it, was the show was like, okay, he's doing this, but you do go, he's just doing that because his dad like forced him to be a good guy. Like, he is actually like a horrible bastard. That was a great show back in its heyday. Anyway, it was a great show.
No, even did you watch the?
I didn't see the most recent one. No,
brilliant,
because no one liked the last season, and then they kind of did it again.
Yeah, they did it again. They had one. They had one. They've had 2 extra seasons now.
Okay, fair play. Yeah,
and. Yeah, the most recent one is great.
Okay, great. I was a big fan now back in the day. But anyway, on to the film we're actually talking about. What's your non-submersible units for? Because this is a film that people still think about.
Oh, it's very well thought of. Like, non-submersible units.
It's hard to say. I do remember. Sorry,
one in particular.
I wanted to, because there's that line in it that was in all the trailers, like, I'm going to bring the whole corrupt system down his head. It'll be biblical. I remember the first time I went to college, the script writing teacher, she was apparently, I didn't hear this now, but she was reviewing it on a radio program. And a guy I went to college with was listening to it, and he said, she kept criticizing the film, saying, oh, like, it's going to be biblical. One of my students would write that line. It's like, maybe your students are listening. Maybe they'd be very offended. Like, that was a real like film school line, and that is a bit of a stock line. He kind of delivers it well enough, but it is like, Oh yeah, that's just. I did like the von Clausewitz line. I thought that was funny. Like it was full war, motherfucker, or something. I was like, all right, yeah. But the biblical one, I was like, oh, that's a little bit stock. So maybe she was right. I mean,
I have to be brutally honest with you. The only thing I can get out of my head now, because I was like, I hope Seamus's non-submersible unit is. I bet she takes it in the fucking ass. And I have to be honest, that's all I can think of now.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'd have to just say the Gerard Butler character seems to live with people. Like this guy who's like, you know.
I mean, we can all. You're a father to a young daughter.
Yeah.
I'm a father to a young son. We can all imagine. Like I'm reminded of Jim Brewer. He was a comedian, but he's also like he's been on SNL and all that type of stuff. And I'm always reminded of Joe Rogan actually explaining something that Jim Brewer said to him, and he goes, "When I had kids, I understood murder." For the very first time, and there's not a fucking parent on the fucking planet who can't get on board with this. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it is very. It simplifies things a bit. Like there is, like I always saw it as nearly. Do you know the way people say about when you're addicted to drugs, your life's very simple. If something like that happened, you'd be like, my life's very simple now. I just exist to take you off the earth. Like, yeah. And that's it's very plain and simple. You're just on his side, and you're how the fuck can you live with yourself? I thought they mention it a few times, and it is an interesting angle with, you know, what would your family have wanted? And that is always a great argument against vigilantism. Would they want you to have destroyed yourself? But in this, I think they do he just goes, actually, it's the same line from Dusk Till Dawn. He says, my family don't care about anything, they're dead. Yeah. And like, that is just the perfect answer. You're just like,
because he goes, how would your family feel? And he goes, my family don't feel anything. They
don't feel anything, they're dead. Which is, again, the vigilante's perfect rebuttal.
Yeah, like, 100%.
Like, what do you want me to say to this, you know? I think that's kind of what makes it live, as a guy who just goes out and is like, I have the skills and the money to do whatever I want here, and I'm going to do it. So that's where I put it. Now, this is where we may diverge ever so slightly. A star rating, Keith.
See, I already had this set in my head before, but I think I'll regress a bit. Because I mean, we've obviously discussed the holes that it has. I'll have to go 3.5, 3.5.
Really?
I was going to go 4.
Oh,
but that was earlier on.
I feel a bit guilty now, but yeah, I'm going to give it, you know, a solid 4. No, I give it a 2. I'd have to say I give it a 2. Yeah, it's always, if it had just, even if it had just amped up the, hey, fuck it, let's just make it a, you know, pure kind of cracked action thing. But it kind of fell between the two stools for me. So there we go, 2 out of 5. But I'm curious, like, I genuinely, if someone says they enjoy it, I can see what that is, but the film, I was maybe hoping for the Darabont version.
The more because obviously I picked to do this film, and I'm regretting it now because I feel like I've had to contextualize too much, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this film has just always lived in a fucking good part of, and it'll continue to live in that place. But
I defended Ghost of Mars. I mean, for fuck, try that one.
On that bombshell. We bid you adieu for another week.
Yeah. What did you think of Law Abiding Citizen?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because I mean, obviously we've had a difference of opinion, but we'd be interested to see you. Am I a fucking idiot, or is Seamus just wrong again?
Again, as usual. Call me Sooty and him Hoodie, okay, in the TikTok comment.
So yeah, just follow us on across socials, YouTube, Instagram, and again, even if you're already following us, just word of mouth, just pass it along to a friend, and that'll hopefully help us.
It'll be appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. See you next week.
Next time.